Hello everyone and welcome to the Aries Moon Girl channel. Today I'm going to do another superpower reading, birth chart reading, and I'm going to do it for one of the loyal viewers of this channel, and I'm going to name you Ron. Thank you so much for watching my videos and always commenting and always supporting, and I really appreciate your comments and your input and your knowledge on this channel as well. So I'm going to do another reading. This time I'm going to do Ron's chart, and I'm going to do it in the superpower way that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. I choose to do this short type of readings just because I think, for me at least, this is the most important things that I look at in terms to determine someone's karmic path and their mission in this life. Of course, you could go into details and you could go into all the aspects, add asteroids, add smaller planets, stars. But for me, what I'm going to look at in this chart again is, first of all, the sun sign placement, where it's placed in which house and which sign. Then I'm going to look at the overall chart placement. So if a chart has multiple planets in one segment, this is the first indication of an area that's of interest to someone. So this is of course very important as well. I'm going to look at the moon again, where it's placed, in which sign, which house, because this gives you an insight of what makes someone happy in this life, and what comes natural and easy to them, and how they tend to act from within. Then I'm going to look at the most important thing for our karmic path, and this is the South Node and the North Node. And I'm going to tell you where you're coming from and where you're headed towards. And at the end, I'm going to look also at Mars and Venus, because these are like your magnets of attracting things into your life. And this is pretty much it. But all of this kind of paints one picture, and I'm not going to emphasize so much the differences. I'm going to emphasize how do I see this picture, coming together, and what the big trends are and what are the reoccurring themes. Okay, so looking at your chart in terms of planet positions, it's a pretty balanced chart. You have your planets pretty much spread out, with a focus for the northern hemisphere of the chart, which is again a symbol for, in this case, it's a symbol that you are very much focused on the outside world. You are very much focused on your interactions with other people and on your spiritual side as well. But mostly that you don't focus only on your own self-development, but you focus on how you relate to others and what you can bring to the life of others and your interactions, and what you could develop within yourself, but on a spiritual level. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the sun in your case. The sun is, in this case, in the 7th house, and it's an Aries sun. And at the same time, you have Libra rising. I'm mentioning the rising because this is again emphasizing the same type of message as the sun placement there. Libra rising, sun in the 7th house. You are very, very much influenced by this Libra, by this partnership, by the relationship with people outside of you. Aries in general, and you probably know this because you feel it within your sun. Aries is very much focused on its own self-development, and it's sometimes a blessing. That's why the sun actually feels very well, very good in the Aries sign, because you are here on this earth to focus on developing yourself, and the sun feels extremely well there because you get to shine your light as an Aries. You get to really look within yourself and develop your skills, develop your strong points, develop your passion, and create through it. So that's why the sun feels so well there. Nevertheless, when the sun reaches Libra usually, or the 7th house, by then it has gone through all the other 6 signs, and it's at the point where it has developed itself enough, and now it wants to look outside itself. It wants to look at the people around them. It wants to find a partner to relate to, and it wants to exchange what it has learned. Until a certain point, we grow through learning ourselves on our own. And then the point comes where you can only grow through relating with others. And the sun, usually in the 7th house and in Libra, is not the easiest because it's always back and forth, me, the other, me, the other, me, me, the other one. And it's the 7th house in general. It's this ping pong between yourself and the other person, and getting things right, getting things in the middle. It's that balance. I'm going to go back to that concept that I was talking about, yin and yang, and it's so hard to keep a balance between the feminine, the masculine, the giving, the taking, yourself and your partner. And this is the struggle with a sun in the 7th house. And you are striving for harmony, you're striving for the middle ground, you're striving for win-win for yourself and the others. You are striving for that exchange that creates harmony. You know that when you have a 7th house sun or a lot of placements in the 7th house, you know that you cannot come to an absolute truth only within yourself. You know that you can come to an absolute truth only in relationships to others. And this is what your karmic path is about, because the sun is our spiritual path, and your spirit is on the one hand blessed to be in Aries, so in a self-reliant, creative, self-sufficient place, while at the same time is in the 7th house and needs to learn to relate to others. So I think you always have this within yourself. You always probably know that you are strong enough, that you could go on your own and be on your own and not rely on anyone. But at the same time, you know that in order to grow, you need the other one. What's absolutely interesting about this sun, and this is extremely powerful, and that's why I have it here. I told you I'm not going to go into all the smaller planets, but there's one that's very powerful, and we discussed about it, and that's the sun with Chiron. And Sun conjunct Chiron here in the 7th house, for me, again symbolizes a contradiction to your Aries sun. So Aries, self-reliant, ego-driven, needs to deal with Chiron conjunction there. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. You probably intuitively have always known. With Chiron there, first of all, I can go into the family history, and I have a Chiron square on my own as well with my son. So I can tell you there's probably some father issues or there's probably a sense of a weak father presence there, where you had um, to learn through it and to grow up through it, and this has probably influenced your life to date as well. With Karen there, another issue might be that you are very much attached to other people's egos. That you are trying to do the best for other people, that you are becoming sometimes a people's pleaser, because you want you are aware of the need of the ego of the others, while at the same time you are aware that you're giving away your ego in order to please those people in your life. And this is one of the curses or one of the blessings of Sun and Chiron, because if you hear philosophers or meditation gurus, or they will all tell you, oh, you need to give up your ego. And well, basically the Sun with Chiron kind of forces you on the one hand to give up your ego, but at the same time it's a big blessing. With Kieran there, you are a healer. You, what you cannot do for your own ego, or in the process of the death of your ego, you're that one person that can help others develop their creativity, their ego, their life force. And Aries there, like, it's like you have a superpower, you have Aries superpower there, and you cannot use it on yourself, but you can use it on other people. And you can, and especially with this, with a Sun in the seventh house, is like you have this superpower, but it only works if you help others through it. It doesn't work to give yourself so much power, but through helping others it actually helps you. So it's an enormous, a very strong placement, in my opinion. It might seem difficult in the beginning, but as you know, probably all these difficult placements are actually a blessing in disguise. So you have this huge gift of empowering others, of bringing life force, creativity, inspiration, confidence out in others, while at the same time you wouldn't be able to do this for yourself in the absence of others. So you are only able to do this while helping them. Very powerful indeed, and you probably feel all this already, and you probably know what I'm talking about. But what I wanted to tell you is that there's nothing wrong with it. The more you give, the more you get in return. This is what this placement talks about. Yes. Okay. Going now to your moon. Your moon is in the 11th house, in Virgo. And in this case, Virgo, you talked about this yourself. You're aware of this moon placement. Virgo is a sign of service. And again, I like the reoccurring themes. I always see charts and I see the bigger picture. So you probably are extremely efficient at what you're doing. You're probably very good at getting things done, very good at analyzing things, very good at moving things forward. But then again, Virgo again does things for the others, or is at best when it kind of it brings service to others. So it moves things further, but it moves things further and does things also benefiting others. So you probably know how to be of service. You probably have a very smart, analytical, methodical mind that sees what's the best for more people. And I'm saying this especially because 11th house talks about groups. You probably were always a person that felt best when you belonged in a group. when you belong to a group with a purpose in general, but you definitely have this service attribute that comes from Virgo, but you have this belonging to a group or doing well, doing good for a larger group of people, and you like to belong to groups of ideas, to groups of people. Maybe this is also like, you know, like internet communities and things like that. That's also it, because that's 11th house. That's the Aquarian nature. Um, you you care about a cause. That's definitely there as well. Another benefit of this type of moon is that you have, actually, from your whole chart, I would say that you probably have a steady income coming to you. So you know you can get things done when you need to get it done. Um, you know you can earn money, and I think 11th house, because it's the house of wishes and of dreams and of of wealth also. Um, can also give you, you know, like you don't have to struggle for money. You always have it coming to you, which is a good thing. But mostly it makes you want to belong to a group and want to be of use to that group. And again, this is a bit in the contradiction with the Aries Sun, but you see, everything kind of turns in circles. Everything kind of tells the same story. It you benefit most when you help others and when you can be of service to more than yourself. Okay, yes, and now we're on to the interesting part, and this is the North Node. North Node is your life path. North Node is what you're meant to be doing on this earth. And usually we tend to live, especially in the first part of our lives, in the South Node. And for you, in your South Node in this case is in Aries, because your North Node is in Libra, and it's in the 6th house. And 6th house, South Node in Aries, you are a doer. Again, with the moon also in Virgo, you get things done. You can get things done, implemented, done fast. Yeah, you get chores done like no one else. You are very assertive in what you can push through. You you kind of take on responsibility for the others, also with this moon, but also with South Node there. So you take on the responsibility of all the chores, of all solving things actually for the others, and very pragmatical solutions could come to you very easy. So you're very intuitively, you are very practical and pragmatic. While your mission in this life is towards spirituality. This is what you'll notice probably through your quest of astrology. You're already starting to head towards this very much. But what you'll notice, where you will have a back and forth between the South Node and the North Node, but the North Node is where you'll ultimately get to. You just need to input this pragmatical view, this getting things done, and your gift from another life. You need to be able to use it for your ultimate goal, which is again a Libra goal. So you are not wrong in in saying that you're not a typical Aries, because you have so many aspects that go against that and that kind of tell a different story. And this is such a powerful placement, because Libra is again the first death of the ego again. And it's that point where you realize, okay, I'm not alone in the room. I'm going to orient myself towards the other person in the room, and I'm going to give something of myself to them. This is what Libra does. And this is the first challenge of the ego in the horoscope. And then it reaches Pisces, where it totally dies out, where it says, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about something bigger. And this is what your North Node there wants to realize as well. It wants to realize what that something bigger is. It wants to head towards that, although you know you're very good at all the practical stuff, at all the assertive stuff, at all the get things done, push things through, earn some money, solve some chores. You know that there's a lot more in this life, and that all doesn't matter because in the end it's all about this greater thing. And Pluto there, Pluto in Libra, in the 12th house, in the same house with your North Node, it tells you the same thing. It's something needs to transform, something needs to die out. You're constantly renouncing. So let's say that you decided to become a Hollywood star, only infatuated with yourself and money and cut things out. This chart would never let you. This chart always reminds you need to stay connected to the others. You need to stay connected with the good of the others. You need to stay connected with the greater purpose, with life force. You need to stay connected with what's important beyond what our ego and what all pragmatical world has to offer. And Chiron with Sun, Pluto in the 12th house North Node, 7th house Sun, all of this kind of reminds you of the same lesson. I'm here for a greater good. I'm here to give to others, and only through giving to others, only through giving to that greater thing, only through seeing the bigger picture, only through seeing the needs of others and helping with the needs of others, I can fulfill myself as well. So this is your life path. You cannot be egoistic in a way. So it's, or even if you try to be, life kicks you back and puts you back on the wheels. Okay, and then about Venus and Mars. Mars in Leo, 10th house. You're assertive. You are really assertive when you need to be, probably in your job, and you, in order to reach what you want to reach, you are a force, and push through and shine your light, and all of the Aries Leo things. You have Mars in Leo and you have Sun in Aries, so this is an exchange between the two. This is where your whole force comes from. This is your assertiveness. This is what you bring into the fight. But then you're that marvelous warrior fighter that cannot fight for itself or for its own ego, that needs to fight for the others. So very powerful, very, again, I would say it's a sign of success for me. It's a sign of you being able to assert yourself. You have also, I wanted to mention this, although it's not in the traditional superpower reading, you have a Uranus in the first house in Scorpio. Again, very powerful. You're not doing things the traditional way. You're not doing it. You're seeing your own life path, and this is what you're trying to follow, probably now also with astrology. You need to see things your own way. You need to do things your own way. You cannot do them otherwise, and you'll assert yourself through this 10th house, Leo Mars. And Taurus, Venus, beautiful placement, wealth with with 8th house Venus in Taurus. I would say I might be wrong. I don't know if there are other things I should consider, like look at this Venus and Saturn. There might be some obstacles there, but I think financially and business-wise, you're doing well. You that shouldn't be a problem. And this eighth house Venus attracts things to you. You know how to treat people, you know how to talk to people, you know how to understand the subconscious reasonings of people. This is where you like to go deep into subjects. You like to understand what triggers that relationship to people and to understand what triggers them. So you go deep into someone's subconscious, you go deep into your own subconscious. And usually Scorpios and 8th house gets paid for that. So you get benefits financially because you understand how things work. And it's a beautiful placement because it's in Taurus, and this again kind of gives you strong outlook on values. Yeah, that this is a magnet Venus, I would call it. So it's probably a very good force in your life. And with Mars there, I wouldn't worry about you in a business situation or things like that. But then again, we're going back to your, then you have Uranus square Venus, so you might have a lot of ups and downs. So a lot of with this inner turmoil in the 8th house, in relationships there might be ups and downs, but at the same time, I see these two planets working very well for you in accomplishing your mission of what we talked about. A mission that has to do with accomplishing yourself, but through the help of others, helping others help themselves, and through this growing in your own life and in your own chart. I'm looking forward to your feedback regarding this. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if I got something wrong, if you would like to add something. And again, thank you so much for watching my channel, and thank you for your contribution. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully you like this, and hopefully you'll let me know what you think about it.